What would you do if a lazy police officer's shoddy work cost you everything, your job, your home, your savings, and even your son? In today's story, one man's answer to that question became a masterclass in how to fight back when the system fails you. It was November 2018 when my world came crashing down. I was at work when I was arrested in front of my boss and all of my coworkers. It remains the most profoundly humiliating experience of my life. Later, sitting in the cold silence of the police station, I learned I was being charged with multiple felonies. The shock was immense, but through the fog, I had the presence of mind to keep my mouth shut and lawyer up instead of talking to the detective. That single decision was crucial, but it came at a staggering cost. I managed to retain a criminal defense attorney for $13,000, a sum that completely wiped out my entire life savings. With every penny gone, I was unable to pay my bond, so I sat in a jail cell for 54 agonizing days. At a status hearing, my attorney finally presented the key piece of evidence, a video of me gassing up my car 3 hours away from where the crimes had even occurred. Just like that, all charges were dismissed. But walking out of jail wasn't a moment of relief. It was the beginning of a new nightmare. In those 54 days, I had lost my job. I was in the process of being evicted. And worst of all, my son had been placed in the state's care. His mother is a heroin addict. And since I haven't spoken to my own parents in nearly 15 years, there was no family for him. They refused to let him go to my girlfriend, Clara, because they didn't consider her family. I learned very quickly that I couldn't sue the police for what they did. Nobody seemed to care that I was wrongfully imprisoned for nearly 2 months simply because a detective had done lazy, poor investigation work. The local press listened to my story, told me it happens quite a bit, took my info, and never followed up. If no one else would tell my story, I decided I would. I created a website and laid it all out. I shared my experience and uploaded the official police report and other documents from the discovery process. The documents made it clear, the only reason I was ever arrested was because a single eyewitness claimed they saw me. If the detective had done his job, he could have easily verified that I wasn't even in town on the day the crimes took place. This is what still infuriates me. My entire life was dismantled by a lazy employee. This brings me to why I'm telling you this now. My website started gaining traction. I live in a touristy town that gets a lot of visitors, and my site eventually climbed the search rankings until it was the number 2 result for our town's name. My web traffic quadrupled, and apparently, it got the attention of someone high up. First, I received a cease and desist letter. I took it straight to my attorney, who confirmed that sharing my experience wasn't illegal. Everything I posted was either a documented fact or my own opinion, protecting me from a defamation lawsuit. Then, things escalated. Yesterday, I got a knock on my door. It was 2 officers and the very detective who had arrested me. He offered a hollow apology, muttering that mistakes can happen. This revealed the department's greatest fatal flaw, their arrogance. They didn't see a man they had wronged, but a public relations problem they needed to erase, and that ultimately sealed their fate. They then asked if I could please remove the website. I looked at the man who had cost me everything and felt a cold resolve. Some people online later commented that I should have asked for my $13,000 back to take it down, but it was never about the money. I told him I would delete the website on one condition: he leaves his job and never works in law enforcement again. Unsurprisingly, that wasn't going to happen. That visit only solidified my decision. The fact that he only apologized because he was ordered to get me to take down my website makes me even more furious. I have no intention of removing it. My girlfriend, Clara, is my only support in this. My friends think I'm just being spiteful and should just let it go and delete the site. But how can I? As another person wisely pointed out, I need to watch my back, because it doesn't seem like these people would have a problem coming up with more bogus charges to get me arrested again. Since this all blew up, there has been an incredible outpouring of support. A litigator on Reddit even put me in contact with a colleague who practices in my state. It turns out there is precedent for cases like mine, and people have successfully won against the state, though it took years. Best of all, after a mountain of paperwork and a court hearing, my son is finally back with me. We're together again, and that's what truly matters. This story is a stark reminder that when the systems designed to protect us fail, sometimes the only power we have left is the truth. By standing your ground and telling your story, You can hold even the most powerful people accountable. So, I have to ask, if you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have taken the website down to avoid more trouble, or would you have stood your ground for justice, no matter the risk?